At the moment, could you please just all mute for now and then just unmute yourself if you want to talk, so then we won't have any background noise. Okay, that's great. Lovely, awesome. There might be some more coming, I don't know. So every now and then I will just have a look at the screen and see if I need to admit anyone else. But great, has everyone had a chance to listen to the recording that I sent on the first balance? Is there anyone who didn't listen to the recording? Just put your hand up if you didn't. No hands up, then I assume you all listened to the recording. Yazine, you didn't listen.
Sorry, what are you referring to? Your balance that you did for this meeting?
Yeah, I'm just referring to.
Oh, sorry, no, I did listen.
Okay.
I did listen. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known its relationships, right? Okay.
Yeah. Of course, and you did the balance, of course, absolutely, 100%. So let me just get the balance in front of me. I won't go over it again, but the whole purpose of doing the balance is to get everyone on the same wavelength, so that when we come in and do the second priority, we are just following up from whatever comes up on the first priority. So because I was doing the balance, so that's not you. Okay, because I was doing the balance, I did use some module 7 body points, which was really good to be able to use those points. And we're working with the theme of relationships still. So I quickly this morning just gathered some information for the second balance, which I thought we could do together. And then I'm hoping there will be a little bit of time to just discuss the balance and what it means for us individually, and what challenges we are currently facing within our relationships, and how we see that playing out maybe with our friends, family, beyond ourselves, and then just to look at, you know, the collective consciousness and what's happening there. So for this balance, we have got the central nervous system coming up as a priority. And I linked that with communication, our thoughts, and also we are interpreting our external environment with that as well. And we know that the central nervous system controls our body movement. So the other body points were the corpus callosum. Only working with module 2 points here. So Avinash, if you don't understand the module 2 points, that's fine. You just stay with us for the balance and just work with what you are aware of going forward. But of course, you might learn some body points as we touch them as we go along. But only work with the module that you've done. So if you've only done up to module 1, just stick with what you've done. I think most of you here, Nishi, have you done module 2? Okay, do you understand?
I've done up to module 3.
Oh, that's perfect.
Module 3.
So we're all on the same page, except for Avinash. Okay, so that's wonderful. So we've got the corpus callosum, the right lung, and right sinus. So I linked that also with looking at the Louise Hay book to get the emotional expression that's coming out in those body points. So for the right lung, we can hold their depression, grief, fear, as in taking in life fully. The right sinus could be connected with irritation to someone close. And these are just possibilities. We're not putting them in a box. So it's just for you to reflect on, to see how it might fit in with the rest of the balance and the words that we pick up. So we're not kind of floundering in the dark. It's kind of linking us to some possibility. Okay, so let's do the body points together. I'll explain to you, Avinash, where the points are, so that you are able to touch them energetically on your chart if you want afterwards. If you're not able to join us now, you're here, so you're in the collective field. So that's how this is going to work. Avinash asked, how do I do a group balance? So thanks for asking that question, Avinash. A group balance is a module 2 point, or module 2 taught in module 2. And so we use the same body chart when we do it, and we put underneath people's names who would be part of that balance. So we have to ask permission if they can be part of that balance before we bring them in. Alternatively, we can use someone as a surrogate to do a balance for someone else. So that is module 2 stuff, okay? So for example, now we have a vortex mat, which has many cards in it. It's quite an expensive mat. Lindy's got one, I've got one, Lindy got it first. And we are putting on lots of people's names on that list from all over the world. We have thousands of names on that list that go on the map. So that's how we reach a lot of people globally, internationally, to do a healing for them. So it is done with intention, but we have to normally ask permission for those names to go on to receive the balance. Okay, so the central nervous system we know is at the back of the neck here. It's one finger. So we're going to touch the back of the neck, in the middle of the back of the neck, and we're going to enter. Okay, and then we're going to go from the central nervous system to reconnect with that point. And then we're going to go to the corpus callosum, which is the edge of the hand over the forehead. And then we're going to do one finger for the right lung. So I'm just going to come up a little bit here. And then right finger, my right hand side, one finger for the sinus point. And we're going to enter that. Okay, so we've entered all the points. Okay. Just try and lower my screen a little bit so you can see me. Okay, the emotions that I picked up, so we're going to tap them in on the back of the head at the pillow point. Okay, 2 taps for each emotion. We have fortunate and vanish and friends is the life field. So you see, Avinash, normally when we're looking for a life field, it shows us an area of life that the story is connected with. So you would only have either 1 or 2 areas of life. You wouldn't have 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so you would just tap that in at the back of the head as well. So the time frame is current, so you can tap that in. So I am going to link in with you. So if you want to unmute yourselves to be part of the discussion, just unmute yourself when you want to put in your thoughts on this. So central nervous system being the priority body point, okay, so you can just think about that and bring that into mindfulness while you're thinking about this story as well. And just think about the word fortunate and vanish and friends. So what would that mean for you right now, considering the fact that we are probably, you know, separated physically from our friends, although we can connect like this virtually, it's not quite the same, is it? So how do you see that word, or how do you interpret fortunate, vanish, and friends? Or just think about fortunate and friends for now. Maybe not think about all of the words all together. So the area of life is friends. So what's happening with you guys at the moment as far as friends is concerned, and what stress is there in maybe not seeing your friends or connecting with your friends right now on the same level as you would before lockdown? Anyone want to give their feelings on that? Lindy, how do you feel about that? Are you a social person normally? You can unmute yourself, Lindy.
No, I'm not very social at all, Christine, so it hasn't affected me that much. I have got a close friend in the state that I've managed to walk with, because we walk on opposite sides of the road with masks, obviously. So it hasn't really affected me. As I say, I'm really not that social, so it hasn't been too bad. I haven't found it too bad.
Okay, and what about your daughters, for example, because the younger generation, for them, it's really, really important for them to have their social life with their friends more so maybe than when you get older, you kind of a bit more, you know, not so reliant
Yes.
and dependent on your friends in that sense.
Yes, that's definitely for both my daughters. They found it has been very difficult. They've definitely missed their friends. And then my one daughter's her 18th birthday is coming up next month, so it's also going to be very difficult for her not having anyone for that.
Sure, and has she conveyed that to you? Has she shared that with you, that it's really disappointing for her that she won't be able to have a party and have her friends?
Yes, yeah, she has. She's very disappointed. Yeah, she'll be fine, but it's disappointing.
Yeah. So remember, we are part of the collective consciousness here. So whatever is going on around us in our family will impact us directly or indirectly. So sometimes we're picking up information that is in our field, but it's not directly related to us. And so when you're working with your clients, I want you to be open-minded about that, and help them to be open-minded about it, so they're not just thinking about what these words could mean for them. So I hope you see this as a useful exercise for exploring these words and trying to draw them out of your client when you're working with your client, without imposing your stuff on them, of course, but opening up and expanding their thought processes, because most of the time when we're given words, we interpret them for what we see that word means for us and put the word in a box, but we need to expand on what those words could mean and not just take them literally. So that's why it's good to have a dictionary with you, and just get the full meaning of the word and help your client to draw that out for what the possibility of what's happening within their close environment, what's going on for them with their friends as well, because all we need is for a friend to pour their heart out to us about something. We are energetically, emotionally very connected to them. So it's going to be weird when you're working with someone and you pick up stuff that doesn't make sense for them because it's not their stuff, it's actually their friend's stuff. So it's going to help you draw them to that story if you help to open up and explore what's going on, not just within their lives, but what's going on around them as well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So anyone else want to share anything then about friends now and what's going on in your environment, if not just for you alone? What's going on, and how is that feeling at the moment? Because there's definitely stress linked to this, because the vanish part is linked to miasm, which is again part of our patterns that we play out that might throw out a skin rash or some sort of anxiety in some way that throws it out in the body. So, you know, it's good to have a look and see what symptoms are we also experiencing. So we'll get to the word vanish just now and see how that ties in. Can I have another share, please, from someone with regards to this? Because it is really useful to talk and see how we can, you know, extract this information that's coming to make it meaningful for us as a group. Julia's trying to get in. Hi, Julie, sorry. We've got a few more people joining us, so please unmute yourself and kindly just share with us what you feel is happening around you and your family at the moment as far as friends are concerned, and are they missing their friends? Are they connecting with them just in another way? Are we maybe not even connecting with them at all? Like, what's going on for you guys?
Hi.
Who's wanting to talk?
I'll talk, Christine.
Okay, awesome.
It's me.
Is she?
I've got 3 kids, and in the ages of 25, 24, and 15, and they all are missing socializing with their friends. One's working, but he's working from home, and he's missing his colleagues from work. The other one's missing his varsity friends, and the other one's missing a school friend. So I can see it taking the impact on them, where they kind of get frustrated sometimes. One wants to sneak out the house.
Wants to sneak out.
And go and see, and go and see his girlfriend.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's really sort of taking some risk at the moment. So
I didn't hear you.
So he's taking some kind of risk at the moment by doing that.
Yeah, but he hasn't.
He doesn't. Okay, so it's what he wants to do. So he's really missing. So it is the younger people, it would seem so far, that's really missing that connection because their friends are so important to them. As we get older, I think we realize that our friends are our friends for life. Once we've made a bond with our friends, you know, they're there, whether we are in contact with them once a month, once a year, even in 10 years, if you don't speak to a friend that you've bonded with, maybe in your childhood or your young adult life, if you connect with them again later, they are more than happy to hear from you and so excited to hear from you. And so you've got that connection. So it definitely seems to be the younger generation that's missing their friends more than anything else. Anyone else want to make any comments on that so we don't spend too much time on it? No, at this moment in time, no. Okay, so how would you relate then fortunate to this? How are we fortunate? How do you see yourself as being fortunate in this situation? Or not fortunate, because it could be the opposite. So we're not putting the words into a box here either. So what could the word fortunate mean for you? I'm trying to work with you as a group as I would with a client. So your participation is really important and valued. So please don't be shy to share. There's no right, there's no wrong. We are just feeling what is right for us and what isn't right for us. Remember, I'm checking all the time with my pendulum here. So I'm tuning into the collective field of our group to see what we are representing for the global expansion of this, the global connection. So remember, you know, our human consciousness is connected to this universal field. So we need to please participate as much as we can. That's why we're coming together as a group to try and work with this and ripple that out to the universe. So anyone want to share, please, anything unfortunate, how they see that for themselves, either being fortunate or not being fortunate? For me, I feel very fortunate that we have this platform and other platforms similar to this that we can use to come together. And I feel very fortunate that Life Alignment has moved really forward big time. I've been doing remote healings like this for quite a number of years now. And I've wanted to make this my main area of practice rather than seeing people individually, knowing that my husband's been telling me for a number of years he's going to retire, he's going to travel, and each time he extends the year because of one reason or another. But the time is coming where this platform is going to be my way of connecting with people. So I feel incredibly fortunate that out of this crisis that we're currently in, that this has almost put it on fast forward, making people come together like this and start to learn to become comfortable with it. And I feel very fortunate that the group healing sessions that we've been doing online with Jeff have been so amazing because we've all felt the energy. And at one time, Jeff didn't think it was possible. And now this possibility is now setting no boundaries for us, because we're seeing more and more how flexible we can be doing our work online like this. So please share, please participate. So
Christine, I also, for me, my husband's in essential services, and he is so busy. He's never been this busy. So it'll basically turn his business around, and through the unfortunateness of what we're going through, he's actually gaining from it. So I'm very grateful for that. And I also feel very fortunate to be where I am, because if I look at my garden boy and my maid, and I just what they must be going through at the moment must be really difficult compared to what we're actually going through.
Absolutely, yeah. And, you know, I mean, also fortunate that, you know, we all come together at a time like this, where we know that everyone is under some kind of stress in one shape, form or another. And we want to be friends to those people who have been a part of our lives, and connect with them and look after them in whatever way we can, if we are more fortunate than them.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Anyone else want to share what's going on for them right now with this? Fortunate? Are you feeling fortunate, not feeling so fortunate? Shireen? I'm going to have to pick you up because you're also quiet. Please, Shireen, unmute yourself, and can you just share with us how you feel about the word fortunate at the moment? Are you feeling fortunate, not so fortunate?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm feeling fortunate for the mere fact that my husband's actually quite busy at work. He's also in essential services. And I have the time that I've always been wanting to have. And with the crisis, it hasn't impacted my family really bad, as opposed to many people. So in that way, I'm quite grateful that we have what we have and we're able to survive. So I'm very fortunate.
Awesome. Fantastic. And anyone else want to share? Anyone feeling?
Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, Julie?
You couldn't hear me before. I'm feeling very disconnected from my friends, even with WhatsApp and phone calls. I'm really an in-person person.
Good, that's lovely to hear. So that is something that you've been really more consciously aware of coming now, these weeks down the line, than initially. Are you feeling that more and more as the time is passing, that we've been separated?
Yeah, very much so.
Yes, me too. I'm finding it really hard, especially with family, more so. But friends, yes, I just can't wait for that physical hug. You know, I'm really missing the physical hugs and the contact, and yeah, and the girly talk and all of this. Really, really miss that. Yeah.
You can do that online, but it's just not quite the same.
Not quite the same, is it? No, we need physical touch. We need that. As human beings, we need to have the physical contact. So it's part of us feeling good when we have that physical contact. So that's vanished, hasn't it? If we look at the word vanish in this balance, sorry, you weren't here in the beginning, but the words for this balance is fortunate and vanish, and it's connected with friends. And the vanish is connected to miasm. So yeah, so before we go on anymore, we haven't put issue into the tissue, so let's just put these issues into the tissue. So we're going to touch the central nervous system, the back of the neck, okay, the middle of the back of the neck, and put the words fortunate, vanish, and friends, and enter.
Fortunate.
Okay, so now we're going to touch the miasm point, which is on either side of the belly button, going down vertically, just underneath here. I'm going to stand up, if you can see me, belly button in the middle, 2 fingers like that is miasm, and we want to think of the word vanish and enter. So vanish, here, that part has vanished. Can you see how I found the words first in order to make sense of what vanish means? That kind of helps me a lot. I would like you to try that when you do your balances as well. If you find it hard to find the story, try and find your words in priority as well. It does help. So vanish is, yeah, that physical contact has vanished. We don't have it. And that can be a real big source of stress for some people, especially if you don't have a partner at home, no physical contact with anybody. You're young and your youngsters are always quite physical with each other. So there's a form of stress that could be playing out some kind of genetic pattern, because it will throw out some way, like a skin complaint or guitar or something like this, depending on what your constitution is like and where your weakness is. It could throw out as a genetic pattern. So that could be something that you could be looking out for with your clients when you're working with them as well, if miasm comes up as a body point. If they are suffering from an unexplained rash, skin rash or something like this, for example, and you pick up the story, it could possibly be linked, and when you do the balance, the rash could disappear. It has happened with me before, so I just wanted to draw that to your attention. Okay, that's something you could have a look at. Running out of time in 10 minutes, so we haven't got long, huh? We can always pick up again if you want to with another link. But if we can, let's just try and see what we can do within the 10 minutes. Okay, so anyone else want to bring in anything with vanish? Anyone want to share anything else over and above my interpretation of it? Do you have your own interpretation of vanish?
Hi. It's me. I think lots of people are hoping that this virus vanishes.
Exactly. they want the lockdown to vanish. Most people at this moment in time want the lockdown to vanish. We know the virus probably isn't going to vanish too fast, but we are tired of the lockdown. I think everyone wants to go back to some kind of normal life. So we want some kind of normality back in our lives. Okay, so let's just do a quick balance to wrap up here. Correction points 5 and 6, and while you're holding correction points 5 and 6, okay, I'm going to just see if any questions come up during balancing, and if we get caught, so I'll try and get another link for us. Let's just see what we can do. And then Jilly and I might just get together afterwards and discuss things a little bit more, and we can always share with you what we discuss in a little short video. Okay, so just hold that energy. What does it feel like for you? It kind of feels a bit heavy for me. Okay, so let's just have a look and see if there are any questions. There are no questions. I think we kind of been through a lot, but what we need to have a look at is what is our reaction to this stress, or what is your children's reaction to this stress? How are they coping with it? And because this is about relationships, I think it's very important that we understand that different people have different stresses. So if you as an adult aren't stressed about not seeing your friends as much as your children are, maybe it's about, you know, having compassion, understanding for them, and open up communication with them, so they can express their feelings and their frustration and their loss of that connection with their friends right now. And there is absolutely nothing else. So I'm going to just ask us to do meridians, balance your meridians. Those of you that have done up to module 2, you know how to balance your meridians with emotions. And then let's do poisons and toxins. And because we are online, we will miss doing integration, but I do have a body chart and I do have everyone's names underneath it. So I can always do a quick integration, or you can do one also on your body chart. A bit harder to do it on ourselves, though not impossible. We can do it. If we have the cards and whatever, you can do it. So I'm just going to go straight to lock-in. Okay, we've got literally probably just a few minutes left of this. Okay, so what I want to express here is the importance of drawing out these things from your client, because online is a bit harder. We don't have time, but that's why I did one balance before and then follow up with another, so that you have a chance to connect to the previous balance, and then also to see how you can draw out information from your client. So the more that we participate as a group with these emotions that come up, the easier you're going to see how we can get that information, extract that information from our clients, how we can get them to open up their minds more about these words, because it's not so easy always when the person isn't present with you, or if you don't know the person. Gesine, I remember with you initially, it was like quite hard to get the words, to give them a meaning, because I think initially, we tend to think about what they mean just for us. And then you realize, like, oh, mum's involved in this story, for example. And then all the words make sense, because you realize it's mum's stuff impacting you as opposed to your stuff or whatever. So it's very valuable to do this kind of work online, to work with the questions during balancing and that sort of thing. And also, I think, it just is a really great platform to share with others who've never done any healing at all, how it works, and get them familiar with thinking outside the box with these words, because it can also be just a little bit daunting to start off with when someone throws some words at you and you think, oh my God, what do they mean? But then all of a sudden you put a time frame to it, and then you tell the person, oh, but your brother is involved in this story, or your mother's involved in this story, and then all of a sudden it makes absolute 100% sense to them. Okay, so Julie, I'm sorry I didn't see you right in the very beginning to let you into the chat. I hope you weren't waiting too long, and some of you others, because once I start, I'm so into the balance, I'm not looking to see what participants are needing to come. But it's really great because we're getting quite a few more people joining now. Rathna couldn't come today. And I would really like to open this up to people who haven't done life alignment before, but they want to see what it's all about. And they want to experience a healing that they're not paying for, but they're part of this collective group. So are you all happy to be part of that and interact a little bit more to help the others who are new at this? Are you all okay with that?
Yes.
Great. So you're welcome to bring in whoever you would like to bring in, people who are less fortunate, maybe people who can't afford to pay for a session, but they would like to experience it, or people who just don't know and understand how this works, but they want to see and understand how it works. So from next week, I invite you to bring a guest or two along if you would like. So we'll keep it to the same time. And just obviously 40 minutes goes very quickly. So we'll just have to see what we can do and fit in. Would it help you if I made a short video on explaining energy healing so that you could share that with them first? And what the intention is of what we're going to be doing? Would you like that?
I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. Are you all happy with that? Just put up your hand if you're happy with that idea. Yes?
Okay.
No?
Yes, it's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Brilliant. Okay, so Julie, can I chat with you afterwards? Julie?
Come back on the same link. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay, perfect. We'll do that. Lovely. Okay, everybody. So I look forward to connecting with you next week. And if any of you want to carry on doing another balance, if you didn't manage to do one prior, please do so. Okay. Remember, this is going out into the collective consciousness. It's not just for us. It's going out to help others. This is the whole idea of doing this. Okay. And are you aware of the Life Alignment Family Chat, everybody? On the Life Alignment Family Chat, a lot of stuff gets posted. So if you're looking at online courses for doing advanced modules or anything like that, because I know Avinash had asked, there is a program that's been put together by Cherry in the UK